Hey guys, welcome back to the Sports Place. Let's move on with the next question. Okay, should the Cowboys pay Dak Prescott, draft a QB, or test free agency? What do you say?
Let me tap on this real quick. So I feel like they owe that man money. But are they going to pay that man money after what just happened to him is the real question. I feel like he deserves every piece of money, cent, dime, quarter, nickel, penny, half dollar. He deserves everything from the people for what he did for him since he came into the league. He's been consistently one of the top quarterbacks, especially passing yards, and doing what he has, even though his O-line has been one of the best in recent years. But this past year, when he got hurt, obviously, the O-line was moving around a lot of injuries. And I feel like he's done more than enough to earn that big contract he deserves. But it's about his recovery process. Is Jim Jones going to pay this man? Or Jerry Jones, whatever his man's name is, going to pay this man?
Jim Jones is very different.
Yeah, it's just hard to say right now because he got hurt in his money year. If he'd have finished out the season, because he started out the season strong too, like he was doing great. Then he got hurt, and then you see what happened to that season after that. So they see his worth to them. They can see how the team moved without him, so they can see he's worth the money. But they probably like, will he be the same when he come back? It was a knee injury, so it's like, okay, that's hard to come back from. Is he going to be the same running when he gets back? Is he going to move the pocket? Like, are we just going to be a survivor with just his arm? It's a lot that goes in when they try to pay these people money. So him getting hurt just made the situation so much worse because it was already questioned, was he going to get paid the money he wanted? Was he going to leave? But now it's just like, it's very cloudy, like I said, because he knee injury as a quarterback who was a runner, who made things happen, made people miss. Him and Deshaun Watson kind of like were very similar to me when I looked at them play. And you see how Deshaun moves, and Deshaun, you can hit Deshaun from any angle. He'll bounce off and still throw a 30-yard touchdown pass down the field. But Dak Prescott, like I said, him getting hurt just put a whole like question mark on everything. I want that man to get paid. I think he deserves to get paid. I think he's their quarterback moving forward, but it's all about his recovery process. And I know he went to one of the best surgeons, so I'm very sure he'll bounce back like most of these guys do, but it's just hard to say with the money. I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback. They may pick somebody up for the meantime just in case, or they may rock with Andy, but who knows? But this is very opinionated, but I think he deserves to get paid that money for what he's done these past few years.
Well, I would be okay with a couple different scenarios. And I'm looking at this just from a business perspective, not from a loyalty perspective. And from a business perspective, number one, you can't trust the franchise in the hands of Andy Dalton. It's just not going to work, and if you have a healthy Amari Cooper and you have CeeDee Lamb, you can't have them waiting for the ball from Andy Dalton. And Andy Dalton's not a bad quarterback. I wouldn't say that by any stretch. He's just not a quarterback who's going to take you deep into the playoffs. He couldn't do it with the Bengals. And he struggled last season. And we also have to remember that the Cowboys didn't really win with Dak when he was in there in 2020. Dak had some big games, but they still weren't winning. So the argument to not pay Dak is that Philadelphia, because of a few, decent seasons, paid Carson Wentz a ton of money. And that was the conversation people were having. Is Carson Wentz better than Dak Prescott? Should Dak Prescott get Carson Wentz money? And all of these sports geniuses out there were like, Carson Wentz is better than Dak Prescott. Now, all of a sudden, things look different. But what I will say is this. Philadelphia paid Carson Wentz, and now he's not in Philadelphia. I don't think that necessarily you want to pay Dak Prescott the kind of money that Dak Prescott probably deserves. If you're going to make a smart business move, and particularly with the free agent market at quarterback and the draft pool at quarterback, Jerry Jones actually has more leverage now. You know, he could be like, you're coming off of an injury. We don't know where you're going to be. And, you know, maybe Andy Dalton's not the guy, but who's to say Marcus Mariota isn't the guy? Who's to say Jameis Winston isn't the guy? Who's to say Cam Newton isn't the guy? You can bring in Tyrod Taylor, and we know Tyrod Taylor can take a team to the playoffs. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of guys who have a lot of accomplishments on their resume who are free agents waiting for an opportunity to start and would love to start for America's team and would cost me a quarter of the money. You could pay Cam Newton literally $5 million and he would run the
What are we talking about here? I think $38 million.
Yeah,
37.7, I think.
Potentially $100 million deals.
Right.
When he's saying 15 and 5, that's mean for 1 year.
Right. So I mean, when you're talking about like a Marcus Mariota, you're not gonna have to pay him a whole lot of bread.
Yeah, you probably give him 4 or 5, 4.
These are all guys who are on minimum contracts. Cam Newton, Tyrod Taylor, like there are a lot of capable quarterbacks. Now, are they the future of your franchise? Probably not. Maybe, but probably not. But you know you have that leverage going into it. And if you're Jerry Jones, you know, you don't want to reset the market with Dak Prescott. However, does Dak Prescott has his play earned a good contract, earned that kind of contract? Absolutely. So this is a tough question. If I'm looking at it from Jerry Jones' perspective, I'm negotiating that contract down. I'm saying, look, you're coming off an injury, you're getting $33 million. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not giving you $40 million. You know, I'm not giving you the kind of money that you know they gave or they're giving quarterbacks nowadays. I mean, people are saying that that Kirk Cousins is going to be out of Minnesota. That's an option. You're going to have to pay Kirk Cousins, but there's so many options at quarterback right now. I think the leverage, you could draft Trey Lance, who's probably going to fall kind of far down. Possibly. You know, you actually can roll the dice in it. And I think that, you know, after paying Zeke, I think honestly the Cowboys can negotiate that contract down. Does Dak deserve it? Does my heart say pay Dak? Absolutely. From a business perspective.
Okay, so before I ask this question, I kind of already have an idea of what you guys are going to say. For one, Jason, I know you, and I know you're a bit of a LeBron stan anyway.
Yeah, facts.
Okay.
This is about right or wrong.
Zlatlan Ibrahimović versus LeBron James. Who you got?
It's not even the versus. It's just about decency as a person. My thing is, I understand where Zalton is coming from with the stay out of politics because that's definitely the safe route when it comes to be a person of stature. You just don't speak on it if you don't know about it. But if you can know about it and you can educate others on the topic and you've done your research, then yes, with all whatever, I forgot what the saying is, but if you know what you're talking about, you should be allowed to speak on it. If you can go up there and educate people on what you're talking about or the subject is, long as you know how to speak about it and can back up what you're saying, you're good. I commend LeBron for what he's done for our people in the past few years, even for other races. He's about unity. He's about bringing people together. You've never seen LeBron single anybody out, nothing like that. And he has no scandals in his career, nothing like that. So LeBron is a very credible person to speak on any topic I think about. And that's not just coming from LeBron stand. This is just basically on the opinion of how I feel about the topic. At the end of the day, if you know what you're talking about, you should be allowed to speak on it. If I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to go out there and sit in front of 1 million people and just give out my opinion on it. It's just facts. If he's speaking facts, it's okay. But if you out there just blurting out things that's off the top of your head, no real research behind it, nothing like that, then that's when Zaltan can speak and be like, no, leave the politics to the politician. But no, if I have a platform where I can reach people and I know what I'm talking about, I'm going to use my platform the right way. So Zaltan, I can't agree with you there. You're a great soccer player. I mean, football player. You wouldn't be called a football player. But it's just, if you can use your platform for good things, why not do it? That's how I feel about it.
I agree. I think this will be a good one. I agree. And I'll be honest, for all of the things that I say that I know about sports, I did not know who Zlatan Ibrahimović was. I'm not a big fan of international soccer. And that's one of the holes in my knowledge, and for all the people that are commenting on Twitter, I wish I could tell you exactly what you need to do to yourself right now, you know what I mean, who are giving me a hard time because I didn't know who Ibrahimović was. And also to all the people out there who, who don't understand that a lot of athletes historically, both here and internationally, have played an important role in politics, played an important role in a lot of important things. If you are knowledgeable about what you're talking about, and you have a social conscience, you should do that. You should call out what's wrong. A lot of these African football players, they go around and they do a whole lot of really good things for their countries. There's even, some of them that have run for political office. We've had athletes who have run for office here in the United States and done some really good things. Jack Kemp, a Republican, was once the head of HUD, HUD secretary, and he was a former football player, American football. And we've had a lot of people who are athletes who understand how our society works, and I think that's important, and for him to tell, and of course, the big example is Muhammad Ali, and other people. And I think what I think is Zlatan Ibrahimović, who is, I believe, from Sweden, maybe he should stick to what he knows, which is Sweden, and not talk about people in the United States and United States politics and people who comment on what's going on in our country. Maybe he doesn't really know. And I'll say this again to all of you who are on Twitter and talking about LeBron and China. LeBron didn't speak about China because he doesn't know China that well. So he kept himself quiet and didn't say anything. And I think it's the same sort of thing. I think if people took the same kind of, opinion, and there's a lot of you that I want to comment, back to on Twitter, because I looked at my Twitter and I'm a little angry right now, but I won't, because again, like I said in the last segment, you have your way of looking at things, and I would never stop you from saying what you want to say. And it's a free world and a free country, and you can say whatever it is that you feel.
That's all for this episode of The Sports Place. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe below. If you have any discussion topics or questions you think we should discuss, go ahead and drop them in the comment, and we'll see you next week.